And yes, I think that we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're here with a very special guest today. Soy Dominika Magdalena. Hi, Dom.
Hello, beautiful Kelly. Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so beautiful to be with you. Thank you so much. I want to introduce Dom as she's known because she's a very special person, a very special soul. And I'll say what I know, but I would love to invite you to speak a bit more. So, first, I guess you've been known as an artist, is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. Hmm.
And if you haven't seen Dom's art, then just go and follow her on Facebook because her art is amazing. And they're portals, shamanic portals, right?
Hmm.
To download higher versions. So just some of the artwork that's coming to mind is like, well, the Magdalene one, obviously, and other artwork. And then you also work with men and women in order to help
With
them,
women, just women.
women, on their inner child, their inner teenager, and coming into that love and wholeness for self. Would you tell us a bit more about you? Because I'm sure you've got more you can tell us.
Yeah. So initially, as you said, I was probably known only as an artist. 2 years ago, very boldly, I came out from my spiritual closet and actually shared more truth about my art. That most of my life was creating my own reality. That's what I thought at the time, that I am creating my reality through the paintings. But now I know that what I was actually doing, I was always channeling art. I was always creating my art in trance, and I was actually connecting with the future now timelines, because there's no time, there's only now. And what I was doing while channeling high dimensional, energies, including the energy of the source itself, I was basically opening portals into future now timelines that carry my highest potential. So the paintings basically became one portal to another within the quantum fabric, as a funnel for my own journey in life, to actually go through the experiences, so the growth, the full growth can take place, and I can step into my full divine feminine potential. So that's what I'm still doing for my clients now. I am creating and opening those portals for their highest potential with the agreement of their highest self. But I also, over the past 5 years, since my awakening started and my own personal healing journey started, I've learned so much about myself. I became a quantum physics hypnotherapist, and I basically dive deep, very deeply into all the spiritual knowledge. Uh, Walking along, on my path, and experiencing a lot of magic, a lot of the unknown, a lot from the beyond, what we call beyond. And I decided that this is an amazing opportunity to invite women to work with me, um, because having all the tools now on board, including also my channeling, I became the trance channeler. I am also connecting with the now timelines of, for example, Hathor, that is teaching me. I'm working with the Divine Feminine Ascendant Masters, which are not in a past, they're just in a different now timeline. And through my work, I somehow I have this capability of connecting through those timelines and bringing back the sacred knowledge, which is so helpful and beneficial to women. So through the work, which is the groundwork of inner child, inner teenager, ancestral lines, I'm basically helping them to consciously walk through the path that leads them home, which I believe is the unconditional self-love and the being one with the creator. So
Yeah.
that's what I do, bringing them back home to the divine feminine self.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you so much. And as I said, I encourage you to have a look at Dom's artwork because it does awaken things, I believe.
Yeah.
So I invited Dom along today because she has done first the Activate Your Sexual Power course and then Awaken Your Womb. And so I've invited her along to share her experience, really,
Oh,
um, of how it was for you.
I have goosebumps, Kelly, because I told you on few occasions, how much um, your person you have brought and helped me to heal in my life. You are literally a godsend at the divine timing for me. It was actually what happened for me was I was already channeling and working and going through several initiations received from the divine feminine ascendant masters. But I have to, I'm not ashamed to admit that the sexual aspect of my life, the connection between me and my womb was none, The awareness was zero. So when I start going through those initiations and I start studying the sacred sexuality, it was so new and there was so much shame and fear within me that I literally said I need someone in a physical form, not only in those unseen realms, that would guide me through. And I attended. There's no coincidences, of course. I suddenly came across the meditation that you organized on your Facebook. I attended the meditation, and it happened that I won the first program out of all the women that attended. So it's like, my intention, my wish was, kind of granted, and I received this beautiful journey with you. I did not know what to expect because I never consciously would even think that my womb has a consciousness, that my power lies within my womb, that this is such a sacred, lost aspect of so many women. So the first course was, as I said, very new. I didn't know what to expect. And definitely I wasn't expecting like very fast progress, because if you are completely disconnected, you are just, thinking, okay, it's going to take probably months, years. But what happened for me when I was going through the work, and then after, getting into the second course, my beautiful sacred space became so, the cooperation was so beautiful and so dedicated that actually, having you as a mentor and going through all the initiations, all the meditations, the healing, I've been receiving so much, so fast, that I was blown away. And all that could not happen without those two courses. All that could not happen without you. My physical womb also responded very, very quickly. That she actually recalibrated completely to the new moon cycle, which before was completely distorted. Kelly was very kind for me, and she attended my messages that I was leaving in her messenger, because I just, it was so new. And she kindly confirmed that, this is what is happening. And I feel so grateful and so happy for have this new aspect of me back in my life. In fact, I never had it before. So you helped me to reclaim something that was mine, but I never seen it as mine, never seen it as such a powerful relationship connection. And I'm really looking forward to do more work, because this is the space where all the miracles are being created. This is the space of infinity, that there is no limitations. This is actually the space, where the God within you, the goddess within you resides. This is your throne. And I believe that every woman should have the opportunity to connect with the sacred space, especially if you went through sexual abuse. Kelly will give you all the tools and will guide you through the healing process that is so much needed. Because today we not only releasing our own sexual traumas, but we are also releasing everything that was not cleared or unhealed within the ancestral lines. So we are clearing a lot. Yeah.
It's so true. I think what you said about not having this connection to your womb and not realizing that it's missing, I think this is such a key point, because it sounds like a nice idea, but until you've connected to it, it's like, wow, what is it like living with this deep womb consciousness, as you called it?
It's first of all, personally, it made me feel more feminine. That was a biggie for me, because most of my life I was actually operating from the masculine energy, and I was literally disconnected from my femininity, if you can say that. So first of all, it helped me to reconnect with that aspect of me, help me feel more feminine, more beautiful, powerful, but not in an egoistic way.
It's like a deep power, isn't it?
Yes, deep power. And you know what, something really sacred unlocked within me. And I think this is also when actually Hathor came through one of the portals, and Hathor told me that, we actually share the same lineage, and it was all kind of by the design. Obviously, the portal into the unknown that carries the symbols and the codes around the navel was something that you told me. You brought me the message that this is something that the divine feminines would do back in their days or in their now timelines. It just allowed me to feel this magic within, this miracle within, this creation within, this goddess aspect within. Not the
Yeah.
We are humans. We should always respect the fact, of having the human incarnation, human experience, but this is adding so much more depth, magic, like royalty, like, I don't know, this strength, this goddess, like, this empowered feminine within. That's what it gave me. Yeah.
That's, yeah, so what so many clients say when they've done the work with me, because it's like the goddess is physically in your body. It's not a concept of outside of you. Suddenly you feel that goddess within on a very physical, real, visceral basis. I really like what you said. Thank you for bringing up Hathor, because so what Dom was saying is that you message me and I'll message you back. So you really get support during the program. You're not just left to your own devices, because it's a very important sacred space. And then I remember when you put up the painting that you started to paint of Hathor, and I jumped in, didn't I? And I said, oh my goodness, this work, this womb wisdom work is from the Hathor lineage, because I never shared that in the actual course. And then we had this beautiful connection and remembrance. There's so many women that are part of this lineage that get called to the work.
Uh-huh. Oh yes, Hathor told me a lot. Actually, when we had this chat while in my studio, it's just we are being cut off from so many valuable information that actually are making us these powerful women, and for some we're becoming dangerous again, having this power back in our hands or back within us, basically. But yes, this is exactly as you said. The time was for me, that I received this message, received this connection, and they will never give us too much. They will never give us too little. So I believe more will be coming as I am unfolding, as I am blooming as a woman. Then more things will be coming and will be revealed to me. But this is so true. We when we incarnate, we don't remember. And to start to remember your origin, the wholeness of self, the wholeness of the soul, not just the aspect of you that is Dominica or Kelly, is just such a profound gift. We really need to realize there's so much more to us,
Yeah. The sacredness of self and the sacredness of this womb space. Like you said, it's the throne space of the divine.
Yes, absolutely.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share about your experience, or perhaps the type of women you think that would really benefit from this course?
Listen, I believe that every woman would benefit from this course, whether she is aware of the potentiality and power of the womb or not. And the reason for that is that you are working in a beautiful, sacred, safe space with Kelly and other women. And I always say that within my groups that we always bring some mirrors for ourselves as a group. So what happened for me is that some traumas, if our want can store so much, our own traumas, ancestral traumas, and there's so much unconscious stuff being stored, that taking opportunity to work as a group where other women will start mimicking and mirroring this energetic baggage within your womb is so beneficial. You can of course do one-on-one work if you want, but I always prefer, to actually work in a group, whether you are, as I said, you already feel connected to your womb space or not. There is always something you can gain. Now, especially if you went through a sexual trauma and you don't know how to deal with it, you don't know what kind of process implement into your work on your womb to release this sexual trauma, to help yourself. Kelly is definitely the person, the mentor, that will take you gently and surely through this process. And we know that sexual trauma is a big thing, and is still not fully explained. It's still for some reason taboo. Women are still afraid to talk about it. And again, working in this kind of group is a perfect space to heal. Now, another aspect is the sexuality itself. How we've been programmed, what we think about our sexual energy, about our sexual life, how little we know, how little we use, where actually sexuality and the physical experiences is our birthright, and it has been given to us as an amazing gift of experiencing this human life. So if you are having problems in establishing what it is actually, or you feel disconnected from this aspect of self, again, this program is for you as well, because this is everything that I gained, and I gained so much more, honestly.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to stay on and be talking about sexual trauma, because the thing is that so many women have experienced, and I will just say in the circle, there's such a safe space for people to just, you know, reveal those secrets they've kept to themselves. And what I found is it can be anything from someone knowing that they were sexually abused as a child or were raped, at any age, to actually realizing that some of their relationships or intercourse, sexual in relationships were not consensual. And what I found in the circle is that sometimes women realize that they have a lot of shame around some of those interactions that were not consensual, but it was somehow their fault, or they were like wrong or dirty, or all of these
Mhm.
words. So these are all things that are stored around the womb. And then also womb trauma, like, grief from not having children, or from losing children, or from having terminations. These are all things that get stored and cut us off from our power.
Absolutely. Yeah, everything you said is just so spot on. Even just a few minutes ago, I finished, my group with women, and we've been actually also discussing the sexual trauma that also should be mentioned, that a sexual assault may happen also only in the form of a thought. But because it is an energy, if something like that happened to you when you were a little child, completely unaware, unconscious, but the energy of the thought of the adult, for example, that created this thought, it is also a sexual assault that your physical body and your womb will inhale, intake, and will stay there. So I really encourage you to the group work with Kelly, because so much may be revealed to you, honestly.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Dom, for being here.
Yeah.
Everyone stay on, because I'm going to be talking a bit more in depth, but I wanted you to hear from someone that's done the program. So thank you so much.
Don't waste your time. Jump in, honestly. Your wombs are waiting, for goodness sake.
Yeah, the wombs are all asking for the ego to get out the way.
Exactly. No.
Okay,
Thank you, Kelly. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you for having me.
thank you. Oh, that's so lovely to hear from Dom. So I want to talk a bit more about this sexual energy then. So your sexual power is life force. It is life force itself. And because it's life force itself, it has an immense power. It has the power to create, to create life, to create human babies. That is how we come into existence. And just like desire force, our sexual energy has the power to create babies. It has the power to create our desires. And it is magnetic to our desires as well. Just like a woman who is glowing and radiant, she is magnetic to her desires. And this sexual energy, it also has the power to heal. And I love this saying, the power that creates the body has the power to heal the body. So here we are talking about our sexual energy. And I have found that a lot of healers, helpers, shamans, medicine women, whatever we like to call ourselves, often have a lot of sexual energy, because it is the healing force within us. And that's why, you know, we look at sexual healing, tantric arts, they really are utilizing this life force. And then isn't it interesting that our sacredness, the sacredness of self, has been separated from our sexual energy, when sexual energy is life force itself. It's the divine coming into the body. And so for me, this is a key way in which women's raw sovereign power has been taken away from us. And that's been taken away from us so that the few at the top can hold the power, the wealth, and the leadership and keep it for themselves. Because if we were all connected to our sacred power within our body, to our sexual power within our body, then we would not be having the regime we're in now. And yes, I'm talking about the patriarchal regime. Because there was a time that you will know, and your body knows, and your soul knows, and the deepest part of you knows and remembers. There was a time before patriarchy when woman was honored. There was a time when the innate power that you held within you, your womb space, the portal of life, was honored, was revered, and was cherished. When men knew that they were entering a sacred temple, when they became intimate with you. And so then they fell down on their knees in gratitude and awe as you open the gates. And when they entered with such love and grace, you felt totally held, totally safe, and able to open up this divine portal within. So then the question is, why is this energy so locked up now? And it's because really a sexually liberated woman has been demonized and shamed. A woman cannot be sexy and holy. We have two Marys in the most recent religions. We have the Virgin Mary, you know, that she's all pristine and virgin, and then we have Magdalene the whore. What's interesting is actually in the sacred text, to be virgin actually means something very different to what the recent dogma has said. Actually, to be virgin means to be sovereign. So a lot of the sacred practices that Mary, and mother, grandmother of Jesus, for those that heard about her, and these kind of womb priestesses were working on, was actually becoming sovereign in their womb space, meaning having total power and I'm just losing the thing. So sex for a while has been something that has been dirty, juicy, hidden behind closed doors. And so we have been really shaming the sacred. And this shaming of the sacred has created a lot of distortion in the world, where sexuality has become repressed. And so where anything is repressed, it has to be expressed somewhere else. And so that's been a showing up in a lot of rape culture, paedophilia, and a distorted porn industry, because woman has been shamed into any type of expressing her sexuality. And I want to remind you that women that are adulterers are still stoned to death today in parts of this world. And so since the 60s in parts of the West, we've had a revolution in terms of having sovereignty over our reproduction and over our bodies. But there's still a very long way to go when we're operating from this distortion matrix. And so for women, what this means is clearing out a lot of shame. So as I was explaining, a lot of us have had unloving sexual experiences, and that can be from overtly aggressive to passive aggressive, to having stuff done to you or you partook in that you didn't really want to do. Perhaps you felt like you owed a man something if he bought you dinner or bought a drink for you. Perhaps there are some experiences where you felt they weren't completely consensual or not, you're not quite sure. Perhaps there's been times when you've given your love away too freely and you haven't felt respected and loved in return. So all of these things, when they're cleared, we can start to reconnect to the sacredness of self and start to feel this energy as a blessing, as something to really love and really harness. And this brings joy, vitality, energy, and it births desire. When we do that, then we're free to really express our divine sensual self, and we start opening up this primordial desire, this unlimited energy, this unmanifest potential that we hold within us, within the womb space, and we begin to master it because we begin to become sovereign in it. And when we can master this energy, we can then master our lives because it is the life force. And the thing is that anything that we desire externally to us, whether that's a relationship or money or a particular, a level of income in our business, all these external things that we desire, they will not bow down to you until you bow down to yourself, until you honor this sensual sexual energy within, and until you bring it out of the shame and put it back into the sacredness again and act from a level of wholeness and start creating in a divine matrix instead of a distorted matrix. So for those of you that are going to join the 8-week circle, Awaken Your Womb, I'm including this free course, this course for free, which is called Activate Your Sexual Power. And it's a 3-part initiation, which is specifically about clearing shame in our past relationships, about really activating this divine sexual energy within, and about working with our desire force to bring our desires into manifestation. Alongside that, then you also get access to Awaken Your Womb, which is a very beautiful 8-week circle where we gather together and go through the deep initiations into the womb space. This is a space where you cleanse and heal your womb and start to embody your womb on a very physical, real basis, and start to feel the sacredness of self. And you know, as Dom said, you start to embody this goddess within, and you have such clear guidance and inner knowing that self-doubt and worry and fears and not feeling enough and all of those wounded feminine traits just disappear. It's like you end up in a new feminine frequency. You feel all of your cells are actually recalibrated as you're in this new frequency of you, of the true you, embodied within this beautiful body, and in the center, your womb, the holy of holies. So I found that women that do the 8-week course, and there is a self-study option as well that you must know. So if you can't do the 8-week course, there's a self-study option, which is really good. It's really accessible. And with that, I'm offering 2 free live circles as well. So you get that private mentoring by me. So I found that when women do the 8-week circle, what happens is that they rebirth themselves. They rebirth themselves on a very physical, visceral level, and they reconnect to their deepest purpose, their inner magnificence, the reason why they're here on earth right now, and they're able to step into that highest potential, and become the feminine leader that they're really designed to be. I've also found women unlock their abundance flow, because this is where we are creating from. If it's laden down with toxicity and shame and we're disconnected from this space, then it's no surprise that our abundance is out of flow. So I've had women double their income into the hundreds of thousands. I've had women start their business and start to welcome new clients. I've had another lady buy her dream house in 6 months when it was on a 10-year plan. So this is what can happen when you start to really awaken this power. And then I think the most beautiful thing is that women have really connected to this deep inner confidence, this deep knowing of their value, their pricelessness, and a real belief in themselves and their projects and their creations. And this gives you the confidence to go out there and be who you really are in your messaging and your authentic voice, to perhaps quit a stressful corporate job that's not really for you. And so to really step into this sacredness of self. I've had a lot of women let go of a lot of trauma from childhood, abuse, grief from the womb, trauma of holding medicine woman powers. And so when all this is done, you're in a new frequency. And if you watch some of the testimonial videos, one that comes to mind is Anne, for example. She just described how all this residual fear that she got used to living with just disappeared. And this is something that so many women that have done this course say. It's like a completely new frequency. The other thing that this helps with is obviously relationship, because womb is where we relate mainly with others and where we start to create connections. So when this space is clear, if we're in a relationship with someone that we want to be in a relationship with them, then this can create deeper intimacy with your partner. I've had a lot of women say that they've become closer to their partner. I've had women get engaged after a lot, after it wasn't happening, and suddenly get engaged. So it creates a lot more closeness, because you're getting into your divine masculine, and the more you do that, the more you're inviting him into his divine masculine, you in your divine feminine, and him in his divine masculine, of course, the one who cherishes you, who adores you, and who supports you. If you are in a relationship that you don't want to be in, meaning narcissistic relationship, abusive relationship, unloving relationship, something like this, then what this course does is help you, first of all, clear all of that trauma, because that creates a lot of trauma in your womb space when you feel unappreciated, unloved, or physically, mentally, emotionally abused. And so clearing that out helps you start to feel stronger in yourself, and helps you to start make decisions that are healthy for you, that are good for you. And if you're single and wanting to call in you're the one, this really helps as well. It helps you to magnetically call in that divine masculine man. So this is the program. If you do the 8-week circle, which is live with me and in a small intimate group of women, then you get access to that whole initiation, plus you get the sexual power course as well, and you get a private session with me. I forgot that. And women pay me a lot, like £500 a session. So to get a private session with me can help you a real fast track to clear a lot of trauma and to upgrade your energy. If you do the self-study option, as I said, you have the self-study Awaken Your Womb course, and you get access to 2 live circles with me. So you get to be mentored by me and helped by me through the process. So the doors close next week, but if you join by today, then you'll get access to those juicy bonuses. So that's that's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, reach out to me. A few of you have reached out to me about offering a payment plan. And I do that for those that are committed. So if you're a bit worried about that one-time payment, then just reach out to me, because I don't want money to be in the way of you connecting to this deep inner sacredness of self and unlocking your abundance flow, actually. So just send me a DM and let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll come and answer them back. Lots of love. Bye.